Okay, so we are talking about your queries related to Agile and anything related to career and PMI-ACP program. Looks like we have less query today for PMI-ACP. Maybe we end up discussing other things more. Perfectly fine. But I just want to make sure that briefly we touch upon PMI-ACP in case someone wants to talk about any specific detail I can explain. So I'm quickly showing you the website where you can find details related to PMI-ACP. So here, this is the program. Yeah, this is your overall program page. And it is having small eligibility requirement of 2 years of agile management, agile work experience, not necessary as a project manager. And the difference between PMI-ACP and other agile certification is, unlike our CSM or scaled agile program where you just attend the class and you can give the exam from home, the PMI-ACP uses the same rigor which is used for PMP exam to validate your agile understanding. So many a time you might have done many certification in agile, but whenever you face questions related to interviews and all, you may face some challenges because we just prepare as much needed for the certification. So when we go through the content which is attached with PMI-ACP, that usually help us in understanding the content more deeply because we are preparing for the exam. So that's a little differentiator about the PMI-ACP program. Now, PMI is saying, people will get more opportunity, they will get more recognition. So PMI has many certificates, yeah? And their number one certificate is PMP. But the number two is somewhere between CAPM and PMI-ACP. They are number 2 and 3. So in the whole portfolio of PMI, if we count the numbers, PMI-ACP comes sometime number 2, sometime number 3. They are near to CAPM. So again, CAPM is just for entry level. So if we talk about experienced individual certification program, so after PMP, PMI-ACP is the second most popular program from PMI. Yeah, that's there from the point it got launched. But now from November 2024 onwards, they have improved the program. They have improved the program by including more details. There is something called exam content outline, which can talk about that now the exam will focus on 4 specific areas. They call it domain, mindset, leadership, product, and delivery. And the mindset will be covering around 28% of your exam content. The mindset is usually talking about how well we understand early delivery, how well we understand the agile as a mindset, which is behind principles and value, how we focus on creating a self-organizing team, how do we focus on fast and frequent validations. So those kind of concepts, yeah, are mindset. Then the leadership is more about how do I work as a servant leader? How do I facilitate interaction? How do we make sure my team becomes self-organized? That's a leadership area. The product is more focusing on the essence of requirement exploration, requirement prioritization, tools like user story map, user personas will come into the product area. Now, many a time you will say, oh, that is done by the product owner. It is not something which I will do if I'm playing as a Scrum Master role. So that's a little trick because in the industry, these roles might be pretty much merged with each other. And nowadays, we do see organization using hybrid agile rather than using pure Scrum or pure scaled agile framework. I am seeing many posts coming from Scaled Agile Framework where they are talking about how they did SAP delivery using hybrid project and essential safe. So the project way of working, essential safe of working, project is getting incorporated inside the Scrum is the frequently seen things. I won't say it is just the only thing, but it's a frequently seen situation. And that is where the PMI is saying, probably you want to learn the skills which might be used for multiple area. If I'm a project manager, agile project manager, and I'm going for an interview, most likely I will get a case study. And the case study I will only be able to solve if I understand the requirement exploration well. If I can't think of user persona, if I can't think of user stories, if I can't think of user story map, I won't be able to create a version 1, version 2 releases. I won't be able to demonstrate release planning. Now, we may argue that that job is a product owner job, but I am running another group where we facilitate and help people and they exchange information related to how the interviews are getting conducted. And we frequently see the case studies coming where project manager, The agile project manager is expected to demonstrate product skills as well. So that's where the PMI remind you to focus on product skills as well. And then there is a delivery skill. Delivery skill is usually attached with the project manager, scrum master role. You are expected to be good in ensuring delivery. So things like matrices, burn down chart, burn up chart, velocity, all those will come into your delivery skill area. So overall, these are the aspects which get prepared and tested in the 3-hour exam with a 120 questions. Yeah. There is a detailed exam content outline which one can follow if they want to get into the details. And we do run a detailed program which is following PMI content, which ensures that you get all the understanding of these 4 areas and then you get ready for the exam. Yeah. So that's a brief intro about PMI-ACP. If anyone has a specific query, because from our pre-recording conversation, I understand that we want to talk about other aspects more. But if anyone has a query related to PMI-ACP, I can cover that before we talk about generic agile and career related questions. Okay, so we start with
Probably, I have just one relevant question, Saket. One is that I have done my PMP certification in 2022, which is currently valid, probably year and a half or so back. So, uh, what do you suggest basically? Like, should I still go for the PMI ACP certification?
so in a simple
How
word,
relevant?
we can put it in a different manner that the whole idea is who should do PMI ACP certificate. That's another thing. And should the PMP certified person do? That's the question we can explore. So in general, the individuals who are coming to us, they are the one who want to demonstrate the validation oriented skills in Agile. Because other Agile certificates are not that much test oriented. They are more attendance oriented. And that's of one need. The another need people are coming to us in order to get PMI ACP certification is they don't want to get stick to one way of working. They want to demonstrate they can take care of hybrid way of agile working. So these are the two differentiator or the value proposition which are coming from PMI ACP. Now, if I have done PMP certification and I am already deep into agile execution, I probably not need PMI ACP. Say I have done CSM, I have done Kanban certification, I have done agile coaching certification. I won't bring SAFe. SAFe is a specific certificate which is useful for safe way of working. If you are working in a safe way, SAFe is the most valuable certificate for you. If you are not working in a safe way, so it's a one of the flavor you learn, one of the flavor which will be only relevant when the safe is getting used. But if someone already have a deep understanding of agile, they have been working in the agile mode and they have done a project management certification PMP, most likely they won't need PMI ACP certificate until unless they see frequently the employers are asking for it. The individuals who may have not done deep study in agile and may not have an experience in agile, but they want to have some validation oriented tick in their certificate. So the process gives you some smart goal. You know that you are preparing for something. And as a result, you have a little validation check that this is something which I have achieved. That if that is the case matching, then probably one can go for PMI ACP certification. Now, if someone has done PMP, as we keep discussing in our past space as well, the eligibility criteria becomes little relaxed. So PMI also has eligibility as they have in other area. So if you are PMP certified, then you just need to attend the class. You don't have to talk about your experience because PMI will include your PMP experience equivalent to 2 years in agile experience. If you have not done PMP, then you need to talk about your experience, which is anyway easy because you don't have to demonstrate one way of working in agile. You can talk about Kanban, agile, Scrum, anything. Yeah. And you don't have to show project management experience alone. You can demonstrate any type of team leadership, team member experience as well for PMI ACP. So only thing which is needed for PMP certified individual is attending a 28 hours of class. And it is just a value if I see in the process of learning and validation, then I should do it. Else, if you are getting good calls based on your PMP and existing agile certification, then why should you think something beyond that?
Perfect.
Anything else, anyone?
Hey, Saket, would you like to talk about those four areas more in detail?
You can do that quickly. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So how to talk about these four areas? Yeah, that's a good question. So you need to go to something called exam content outline. So on the same URL, I want to make sure that all of us are looking to the same page. Yeah, so I'm using public information. So I can download this material. Yeah, so I can click on download and this thing will open up something called exam content outline. So in this exam content outline, we can talk about there are tasks. Yeah, so PMI is dividing our domains into tasks. So task is they believe agile practitioner is expected to do these things. So we can briefly talk about these tasks. So agile mindset, the focus is that do we understand what is the essence of early delivery? So learning about the importance of fast feedback is a first task. Then we focus on understanding the agile mindset. It is just not limited to agile values and principles. That's a foundational thing, but it also focuses on understanding complex systems. It also focuses on developing something called system thinking and also ability to select what particular life cycle will be good in a given context. So we learn tools like agile suitability filters. So there will be some amount of questions which will be focusing on, do you understand what is agile suitability filter and how do you support and discover appropriate life cycle approach for your project? So that's a mindset. Yeah, so you can say the second task of mindset is more like guiding the agile teams or working as a PMO or working as a coach to develop the appropriate agile thinking. Second task. Then the third task is pretty much overlap with leadership also, but focuses on how do we create the right environment for team empowerment, how to build trust, how to create collaboration, how to bring transparency, how to build cross-functional team, how to create T-shaped professionals, how do we support inter-team coordination. That's the third task. Then transparency, as you learn in all your agile, Scrum, scaled agile classes, that one of the foundation of most of the agile framework is transparency. So we learn about the process of and importance of transparency. Then there is a specific topic focusing on fostering psychological safety. So the essence of psychological safety, where people feel safe to contribute, safe to challenge each other, safe to have disagreement, and we are respecting diversity, we are inclusive in nature, we are including everyone. Those kind of concept we learn in the psychological safety. So the questions testing our ability to make people comfortable, ability to make people talk about difficult issues without becoming emotional about it will get covered in the psychological safety. Then shorter feedback loop connects with the first task also, early exploration. So that's a small idea. And then they remind how do we need to create a growth mindset by way of embracing change. So this all goes into mindset domain. Around 28%, if I'm not wrong, is the question which you get from mindset domain. And yeah, so 28%. So you can say around 30-35 questions in the exam will be focusing on mindset. So if I'm working in the agile for a while, then most of these concepts will be familiar to me. Maybe I may need to study about complex systems, complex adaptive system, things like Canevin framework, things like Stacy matrix, and good utilization of agile suitability filters. That could be a new question or new topic which I may, and psychological softy. Maybe, yeah, those are the new topics somebody will learn. Maybe, yeah. Now, after the mindset, then we have something called leadership. So leadership is purely coaching kind of role. If you have done agile coaching kind of programs, or if you have read a book like Coaching Agile Teams, then you know what is the leadership content. It focuses on how do you empower team, how do you mentor, train, coach people, what is the difference between mentor, training, coaching, how do we interpret what is the right time to coach, what is the right time to mentor, when is the right time to train, how do you facilitate problem solving rather than you solving the problem. Most of the retrospective techniques and brainstorming techniques you might have studied, liberating structures and all those kind of things will come here. Then focusing on promoting knowledge management. Yeah, so little specific project management ideas, focusing on creating knowledge base, not just doing retrospective alone. Retrospective is a good practice, but more than that, lesson learned, knowledge creation, wiki creation, those will come here. And then promoting agile practices and principles. So linked with the previous topic, I really make and coach my team to really follow agile mindset. That something will come here. And then focusing on creating a shared vision and purpose for the overall problem which we are addressing, that will come here. And conflict management, as we understand in the leadership role, conflict management come as a one of the important topics. So understanding various levels of conflict, how do we handle conflict when the teams are at a different development stage. For example, how to take care of conflict when the team is in a storming stage, how to take care of conflict when the team is in a performing stage, and how do we create a self-organizing team. Concepts related to 5 dysfunction of the team and handling conflict will get covered here. So mindset and leadership domain is more like agile coaching kind of profile. So we learn those topics. But when we go to product, it is more like like a CSPO kind of content or a product owner kind of a content, which focuses on understanding product backlog, understanding tools like user stories, user personas, story mapping, backlog prioritization, focusing on identifying MVP, identifying incremental releases, doing release planning, and visualizing your release plan, tracking your release plan, and understanding and evaluating various customer value oriented matrices. It is just not about burn down chart, velocity chart. It's like CSAT index, NPS scores, different like if you are using say website oriented things, the matrices could be engagement levels of the users, time spent on the website or a page. So there are various session metrics and area specific matrices which we learn. So we try to create the outcome oriented mindset, which is many a time missing in generic agile training. So that's a product domain. And then we have a delivery domain. Delivery domain, most of you may find it familiar, focusing on matrices mainly, resolving impediments, improving the flow of delivery, improving the problem solving with the help of retrospective and all, and continuous improvement and helping the customer to remain engaged. But overall, the delivery domain is clear understanding of how agile practices works and how do I interpret various matrices, how do I work with stakeholders and team to take care of issues and risks, how do I make sure that we have a clear visualization which is helping people to resolve their own bottlenecks, how do I create analysis like value stream mapping. So we will do a value stream mapping in this particular area, and how I can better manage retrospective. Retrospective topics comes at a multiple places. So these are the 4 domains. Hopefully it gives some understanding that this is the content we can expect, and also gives a clarity about what is the value of PMI ACP. Now, when you follow the PMI content, if you enroll to PMI authorized education provider, you will get PMI's material to prepare it, along with maybe like for us, we give you additional material, a significant amount of additional material, but all of the PMI provider will give you PMI material minimum. Yeah, that is what you can expect from them. And that way, the PMI is ensuring that at least the basic preparation gets done well whenever someone is preparing for PMI ACP. So let me show you a one file. So there I have all these 4 domains are divided into 4 files. So I'm just trying to locate if I can find out a one file. So say the mindset. So we can say that this is the type of material you will see from PMI directly. So once you enroll with the authorized training provider, they will add you up appropriately. So this mindset file itself is around 200 plus, 247 pages. And it covers task by task. The similar content we will cover in the live class, and it has a decent explanation. It has some case study based explanations also. If we understand those case study based explanation, we start getting understanding of context-driven questions as well. Yeah. And it helps me preparing for my interview as well in a way. Yeah. So majorly for our people who are coming to us, those are the individuals who are a little bit struggling in giving agile interviews. I usually recommend them to prepare for PMI-ACP even if they don't give the exam, because it covers the aspects which helps them in getting ready for interviews. Yeah. So that's the PMI-ACP content. Any follow-up query around this?
That's great. Thank you very much, Saket.
Yeah.
Are they following a similar style, just like what PMP did? What we learned the same, right? PMP also followed the exam content outline, and they have also changed the chapter to the domains model. I could see some relevance. Is that the same case happening with ACP
More or
too?
less, more or less, more or less. So you will have a ECOs and all the exam questions will be mapped to tasks. Yeah. So each
Correct.
task which we have, they will be having mapping to the exam questions. As a educator, when I am creating my mock questions, so I have created around 800 questions. So I need to make sure there are some of them are freely available on YouTube. I think 140 questions, we have a videos also available, but there are many in the practice test format, which we have created for our client. So I also have to follow the same style. I need to understand the PMI content. I need to follow the task, and I see how the PMI content is taking care of this task, because there could be a little bit interpretation and vagueness in taking care of task as well. So I make sure that we make a question which aligns to PMI content as well as to the task. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure you have a great experience and we are sincere followers of your content from a long time. What exactly you have seen the change, Saket, from the previous ACP to that of the current ACP?
We are
Yes,
seeing
one is ECO in the modules, but in the content wise, how do you see the change?
from a content perspective, if I see only the exam content outline, I would say 30% more content has been added, but 70% content was the same as before. And earlier also they used to recommend 21 hours of training. Now they have added 30% more content. They recommend 28 hours of training. Yeah, that's the difference. Now, but when I see the experience of exam test taker, then the story is little more than 30% change. Because earlier questions were little superficial in nature. They were not that much experience oriented. But now we are finding questions getting into little deep than just superficially checking. Do you know what is story? Do you know what is story point? Do you know what is spike? Do you know what is Moscow? Do you know what is Kano? Yeah, it's not like that level only. It goes into the level where you have a situation given, where you have a table given, where you have a graph given, and you are expected to make an interpretation out of it. So people who are finding the exam difficult, I keep seeing on the social media, they are the one who have studied the PMI ACP content, the same style they have studied PMP, because PMP content exam usually remains superficial. It doesn't get into that much detail, but PMI ACP is getting little bit more detailed. Now that's a situation which is right now we are observing. PMI may little bit simplify the questions as well, because the PMP exam or PMI ACP exam keep changing month on month. But to our clients, we are making sure that they understand the perspective and they are giving the answers. So that's the second thing change. The third thing change is, in the previous word, PMI was not giving any of their material. They were just leaving you to find out your appropriate content, and providers were doing something. Some books were becoming popular and people were doing that. But now PMI has their own content, which gives a clarity about the boundary, which we know that this task can be interpreted in this manner. And probably if I get this idea, I will do great in the exam. So that's the third thing which PMI has done with a new focus.
Great. Thank you very much, Saket. Share that.
Yeah. Anything else, anyone, before we talk about generic queries? Yeah. Good. So now one of the query which we got before we started the recording is about career transitioning, and say if I am doing a type of work, administration, stakeholder engagement, and I want to get into project management, project delivery, how do I make that transition? So this is the question which is in many people's mind. And answer for this will also differ from individual to individual. I personally believe there is no one way to achieve it, because we have our unique experience, we have our unique competencies. So we need to build our transition based on that. Yeah, definitely we can take some ideas which are happening in the industry, but I need to connect the learning with my experience also. It is very unlikely in today's environment if I just say that I have done certificate A, certificate B, now I am ready for a job A. Yeah. So yes, certification doing is a good mindset. One person is demonstrating that I am a growth mindset, I'm a learning mindset person, and I end up learning many things because I was preparing for certification. It gives me a clarity about that. But when I'm going for interview, there could be other people who are certified, but there could be people who are not yet certified, but they are having different level of experience. So the recruiter or the interviewer will play and understand many other aspects. They just don't rely on one aspect of us. So in order to do a career transitioning, I need to find out what portion of my current experience, with some modification, with some extrapolation, I can make it relevant for my future role. So I build my future role on a foundation, or maybe a little modified foundation of my previous experience and the learning. So if I can come up with that story, then it is usually easier to make a career transitioning. Now, if I have a 15, 20 years of experience, I probably may have a good stakeholder engagement skills. I may have a reporting, communicating, data analysis skills. I can show where things are going wrong. I might have dealt with various customers. I might have understood various domains, like I may have worked in a media industry, I may have worked in a financial sector, I may have worked on HR systems. So those domain knowledge, those multi-geography involvement, maybe working for Europe, working for US, working for Australia, that kind of uniqueness, we need to bring all those factors which can probably add up to a recruiter's decision making. So just not the education alone. Education plays a role, but these factors also need to be presented to an appropriate recruiter. For example, if I have experienced the media industry, someone who is looking for a financial sector will not consider that. Yeah, they will not be like, or maybe that much excited about my experience. So I need to see that depending upon what I have in the past, and then I find out who are the possible people who might be interested in my profile, and I find the appropriate connection there. But in general, the people who are crossing 10 years, they may not be sufficiently focusing on pure Scrum Master role. They need to add project management or product ownership along with it. Yeah, because nowadays organization expects multiple role in the individual. People who are crossing 15 years, they probably need to add more than project management. They probably need to start focusing on program management and more complex. Especially if you cross 20 years, then definitely you need to add program management as well, or a product management, some area which is just not project management. Yeah, because just not Scrum Master, I think 10 plus years you just need to add something, and after 15 plus year you need to add something more. Yeah, so that's something I need to see depending upon what is possible in my profile. Yeah. Any follow up or comment on this thing we can discuss before we move forward?
So I totally understood, Saket, like where you are coming from. So I don't know if this is the right forum to talk like case to case right now. Uh, but is there a way we can connect on this again? Or
If you have a generic query, you can go ahead. Yeah. But if you have something specific, you can drop me a mail. Yeah, we can look. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just have a specific query related to my uh, career thing. So
You can drop.
probably I can drop you a
Yeah.
message or something.
Perfect. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
And Saket, I have a question. Maybe when you say generic, right? So in the probably area of project or program management, we looking down the line at least 10 years from now. So I mean, we always value your experience, the way you put the content, reason why I'm reaching out to you. So how do you think, the changes coming out in the area of project or program management, or, other way, how can we be prepared to sustain in the current era of program management? Because what the reason for asking the question is, what I've seen from a couple of organizations, there is a less value, at least, I might be wrong, but that's what I have experienced for these roles, because these roles becoming, they are being done by either product managers or someone from the technical background. They are taking over the same role. So how can we make sure that, our career, at least into the learn from 10 years, how can we prepare, how can we plan something like that in your view?
So that's a question for you, for me, for everyone. Yeah, that's something we need to keep learning what is happening in the industry. I need to keep learning, and we need to be finding out how can we remain relevant and focused in that particular area. So that's true. Yeah, it's a very, very relevant for all of us, I guess. Yeah. But my observation is, and again, it's a observation and forecast only. As you said, the roles are merging. So just focusing on one area may not give me an advantage. For example, if I'm just a project manager and I don't understand the requirement analysis, I'm not using the word product management. Product management could be a decision-oriented work, but people do want me to work with stakeholder, find out solution, communicate solution, implement and sell the idea. They may not want me to make a decision about what should go in a product, but they may want me to take care of requirement analysis. Yeah. So now sometimes they call me a product owner, sometimes they just may call me a project manager having some more domain skills so that he can do a better stakeholder interactions. That is a usual expectation I see. Technology wise, there are some people who are inclined towards technology, then technology and project management also get merged. But usually, if you have left the technology for long, then you might try to mix the project and domain and those skills more, data management, program management, rather than focusing on technical area, because technical area might not be your strength anymore. Yeah. So depending upon our strength and our opportunities, we need to have multiple areas to work on. In general, my recommendation to project managers are project management, program management, and domain in the form of business analysis, in the form of requirement exploration. I am not using the word product management, but a good percentage of product management in the format of domain can help me in remain relevant. The another thing I need to keep in mind is, with the organization expecting of this merging, organization also trying to optimize, and they are trying to have less leaders. Yeah. So they want to have more execution hands. They want to have people can take care of their work on their own. So maybe you use digital tools, AI tools, which supports integration and communication. So why do we need a facilitator to integrate things? Yeah. So what is the role of a leader? Leader is channelizing the energy towards a common goal and making sure that problems which are coming in the ways are taken care. Now, organizations are looking for ways where this job becomes easier, this job become automated, or the people who are working, they know themselves how to channelize and integrate their energy. Yeah. So with the help of the new communication protocol, the tools, organizations are looking to optimize the leadership role. And that's the reason I need to go into multiple role segment, because single role segment a related job may start reducing. Yeah, that's there. So product, program, project, and good amount of data analysis skills. Data analysis, knowledge management. Knowledge management can be done with the help of AI. Data analysis can be done with the help of AI. These things can probably keep me relevant and help me in helping the organization in achieving their goal.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe we become multifaceted. That can make us more valuable than just facilitator.
Yes. And the program management, why I said after 15 years, it becomes a program management focus area. Reason being is that we are seeing that you may not have a dedicated project manager for each project teams. Yeah, so they may have a team level leadership, and then the overall leadership is done by a program manager. So a program manager might be doing some amount of project management roles as well. So that's why in many organizations you see emergence of program management, technical program management, process program management, delivery program management, which was not that much visible, if I say a few years ago. Even if 3 years ago we used to see project manager more, but nowadays I see some percentage of titles at least. Though the content many a time look like a project management role, but the title of program management is also emerging. I personally see they just want to make the person work on multiple projects. That's why they put a program manager, but that something is also emerging. Yeah.
100% right, Saket. That's what even we are experiencing now at our organization. So we are no more having project level managers. We are having a program level manager so that they can even span multiple projects. So probably that's how they are trying some value with these roles instead of having a team level. So they are having it at program level. So exactly, I echo you. Perfect. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Anything else, anyone, before we conclude today's topic? Yeah, if you have anything here.
So, Saket, when you're referring to program management, are you referring to this particular content called PgMP
So PGMP is a
from PMI?
Yeah, PGMP is a specific way of doing program management. Definitely, one can do a certification PGMP as well. But PGMP is strategic program management. It is just not execution limited. It focuses on, but it's a good content. It also focuses on something called strategic alignments and benefits management. So PGMP has its own 5 domains, like the way PMI-ACP has, PMP has. Yeah, they have those domains. So program lifecycle is something which is more commonly seen as an execution, but then we have a strategic alignment and benefits management and governance and stakeholders, which are also taught in PGMP.
But which is a better source to learn the program management
So,
related
as I
content?
said, that if you're looking for some credibility for program management, the program management standard is a good source. If you already have a PMI membership, you can download that material from PMI website and you will get all the content. Yeah, that's a freely means as a membership benefit, you have it. Now, will I get a program manager job after doing PGMP certification? Not necessary. As I said before, it has to match with my existing experience. And the another thing is that I need to also demonstrate experience of program management in my PGMP application. I think we will do a PGMP program also, maybe after a week or so. Similar kind of session I do for PGMP dedicated to that. So I think it's happening towards the later third week, but one can do that. Yes, yeah. But what I'm finding it, people who have done some administration related work, they have not done pure project delivery. They may be able to map their role to program management with more ease than project management. Yeah. So because the program management is more about working with the complex stakeholders, integrating, and less focused on execution and day-to-day work, deliverable management. Yeah. So the day-to-day deliverable management is still a project manager role as per PMI exploration, but it is more at a level where you are working along with project leads and you are working with complex stakeholders and ensuring that my component projects are coming together and they are delivering the strategic advantage to the organization. They are achieving the strategic objective. So that's how we see the program management.
Okay, understood. Sure. So, with regards to my specific needs, actually, I messaged you on LinkedIn and then I got the invite for this call. So, how and when is a good way to connect with you?
So you can drop me a message now. You are already connected on the message. You drop the message.
Sure.
Perfect. Yeah. Great. If anything else we can take, else we are done for today's topic. Hopefully you got an idea of PMI-ACP. You got an idea of why PMI-ACP one should do. And we also learned about some of the generic conversation related to what might be happening in the industry next and what kind of readiness we can do to make sure that we are ready for what is coming in the future.
Hey, Saket, if I can interrupt you as we have a few more minutes, can you talk about the probably ACP program, what you can offer to us with the new content, how it looks like?
One thing is that overall content which is coming from PMI is as it is. Now, on top of that, we have our own learning material, which is on top of what PMI's learning material is. So we will give you an access to a learning platform where you will get onboarded. And this learning platform has pre-recorded video content as well. So there will be a live class of 28 hours where I will teach you the material which is provided by PMI. So there will be a live interaction of 28 hours founded on PMI material, which ensures 100% coverage of exam content outline. If someone understands that content alone, they are good for exam. They don't need to go beyond that. But many a time people come to us where they are not yet ready for that level of study because it's a little direct content. So we have a content on Kanban because we want to make sure someone studying Agile and PMI-ACP, they should have a Kanban understanding well. We do recommend them to check Scrum if they don't have a Scrum understanding. If they have not done CSM or something, they can do CSM Scrum content. Sometimes people want to understand some amount of project management, though it is not mandatory, but in case that's a desire, we do provide video content on Pinbox 7. So the person has some familiarity about traditional and project management vocabulary as well. Then we have a PMI Agile Practice Guide, which is covered in the video format. We take care of it. And there are some specific topics around Agile, which are little deep, like Agile estimation, leadership, matrices. We have a pre-recorded videos. So as soon as person get enrolled, we tell them to get started with our video content. They don't have to wait for a live class. And in the live class, we focus on PMI material. Yeah, we also provide you the access of that material. Once that is done, then your major focus will be on mock tests. So we do have area specific mock tests like mindset, leadership, product and delivery, 50-50 questions mock test. So we tell to take these 50 question test first and start scoring around 80%. Once you have done that, then we focus on the full length mock test. Yeah. So we have PMI-ACP full length mock test. I think we have 5. Yeah. So fifth one is same with our video test, which is made public. But the 4 mock tests are unique. They are not as per the, so they are just available here only. So we have these 5 full length mock tests. Usually people take 1 or 2 and they will get good confidence. So we usually recommend watching our 140 videos. Yeah, they are available in here also. They are available in YouTube also. That can be done without enrolling as well. So 140 question video watching and then taking few mock tests, scoring around 75% plus in the mock test, then we are good for the exam. Yeah. So that's how we usually take the readiness for your PMI-ACP thing. Now classrooms. So we have a 1 weekend program coming in June. So where we run around 7 hours in a session, 2 weekends. So 4 sessions of 7 hours each, Saturday, Sunday, and it starts around Indian time 4 o'clock, 4:30, and runs till 11 in the night. Yeah, so that's the upcoming program. I think somewhere in the June we are doing that.
Thank you, Saket.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Anything else, anyone? So any further queries, you can drop us a message, you can drop us an email. You might be already aware of our website, iZenBridge.com. And if you want to attend similar session on another program, we will be doing next session is on PMP. If in case someone is not done PMP, then you can attend a similar briefing on PMP. And afterwards, we have a session on PgMP. All this information can be found on our website. If you follow me on social media, then I also keep posting those details. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Nice connecting. Yeah. Thank you for your participation. Bye.
Thank you, Saket. Thanks for your time. It's a great
Thank you so much.